What up, losers? Alright, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's put the thumbnail in. The thumbnail of UFC 285 in the UFC's lightweight division, introducing first fighting at the blue corner. I don't know, man. I'm just going on a rant. Alright. I think we are good to go here. Oh, I gotta record. I gotta press that record button. Last time, I did not click that. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. We do have some interesting things to go over, including the return of John Bone. Is it Bone or Joan? Or Bones or Bone? I think it's Bones. John, let's see, where is it? Does it show the nickname? Bones Jones in the light heavyweight, now heavyweight division. Who wins? You or Dylan Dennis? He'd probably win. I am way smaller than him. All right, but it's a banger of a card. If you know anything about the UFC, if you know anything about UFC 285, you freaking know that this is a good fight card. If you got four undefeated up-and-coming prospects on the first 5 fights, the only fight with no undefeated prospect is the one with Tabitha Hichi, who's only lost in MMA, is to the freaking #1 contender, Manon Fiorot. You got undefeated taking on his debut, Esteban Ribovics from Argentina. The man has some power. We got Farid Basharat, brother of the bigger and older Javid Basharat, who's also undefeated. We got Cameron Simon, the second best fighter from South Africa in the UFC. The man is a killer. And then we got Ian Machado Gary, 10-0, and he's going on to fight Kenan Song on this card. If you know anything about the damn UFC, these prelims are goddamn amazing. You got, I mean, even without all of these 4 undefeated fighters, you got Tabitha Hichi, one of the best looking girls in all of UFC. I'm just gonna say that right now. We got Julian Marquez, however you want to say it, and Marc-Andre Barriault. You already freaking know that's gonna be goddamn fireworks. Every Julian Marquez, what's his nickname? The freaking Cuban Missile Crisis. You know when this man steps into the cage, it's gonna be a goddamn banger. Got Amanda Ribas, Viviane Araújo. All right, they're gonna put one, okay fight on the card. All right. They're still, I believe, both on the top 10 of whatever division they're in, because Amanda Ribas is going up and down to flyweight, to bantamweight, to flyweight, to bantamweight. I'm really not too sure what is this? What are these rankings right here? Why are there Chinese people on these rankings? What just happened to the rankings, yo? Am I in Russian UFC rankings right now? Okay, that's weird. That is odd. Okay, never mind. I was trying to check where they were in the rankings, but I don't know why it's showing Russian stuff on here. That is weird. Why are they showing Russian? Is this Russian or what? What is this? I don't know. Women's flyweight, where is she ranked at? Viviane Araújo is at number 8, so top 10. And then Amanda Ribas is at number 15, but I thought she was in bantamweight too. I could be wrong. She's not in bantamweight, or was she in strawweight? My bad. She might have been in strawweight. Amanda Ribas, number 9. So she's a top 10 strawweight taking on a top 10 flyweight. Even the fight you wouldn't really kind of peg as a good fight, given all of these other undefeated fighters on the card. You got Cameron Simon, Mana Martinez on here. Even this one has 2 top 10 girls in the strawweight and in the flyweight division. Sorry for everyone. I haven't been making videos for a while, so I kind of forgot that Amanda Ribas has never fought in the bantamweight division, but I digress. We got Drigo du Plessis, the other South African fighter, that's going in to fight Derek Brunson. Top 10 middleweights. just sitting there on the prelims. Then we got a former champion taking on Trevor Jones on the prelims as well. What? Main card, we have one of the best wrestlers in the past decade in Bo Nickel. We got Jalen Turner, Mateusz Gamrot, which is it's a banger. It's a freaking banger. Tall versus small, I don't care. It's a banger. We got undefeated Shavkat Rakhmonov. We got a title fight, and we got another title fight. This is probably one of the most stacked fights of 2023. I don't remember another pay-per-view that has been this stacked. From bottom to top, there's no part where I can say there's like a weak fight. There's no weak fights on this card. I'm gonna watch every fight. Sometimes I take a little pee break. I go and I'm like, I'm gonna get a snack. I'm gonna go get some water during this fight. I don't really see where I'm gonna be really dehydrated, because when in the world am I gonna go get water? There's no point. All of these fights are quite solid. Let's check the comments before we get into the predictions, the bets, the confident picks. You already know we're gonna do all of that. Don't waste your money, bro. You already know we're not gonna buy it. We're not gonna buy the card, but I'm just saying it's a goddamn banger of a card. A banger of a card. Pickett okay, no. I mean, Pickett lives like less than 20 miles away from me, and I'm still not gonna pick Pickett to win. Pickett is another can for nickel. I would agree with that. I'm sorry, Pickett. I know I've trained with you in the past, but you're gonna get smashed. Pickett seems a big dude, bro. Simon is a lock. Simon is not a lock. There were some holes in his last fight with Steven Kozlow. Was that UFC 280 or 281? I think it was an Adesanya card. UFC 281. So he's not a lock, but he's up there on the confidence. Don't let the looks fool you. I thought the same thing a few years back. 10K for Valentina versus Grasso over 1.5. Goddamn, George Mitchell. Let's check those odds. What are those odds? You better be parlaying it at least. There's got to be one of the sites that'll put a Valentina Shevchenko plus the over 1.5 in a parlay together. I'd say that'd be good. Because some of them are you're able to do that. You say Valentina wins and the fight goes over 1.5 rounds. I think DraftKings does that, or FanDuel. One of those does that. I know. But you could get around minus 140 odds on there. Add on Bo Nickel with that. You almost got plus money at that point. So that would not be too shabby of a bet. Simon beats Martinez everywhere, to be honest. We shall see. My grandpa had Muhammad Ali. My dad had Chuck Liddell. I have Bert MMA and Dylan Dennis. Stack, what's your thoughts on Duplessis? How much do you normally bet per card? Around like 1,000 to 2,000, sometimes less, sometimes more. But for pay-per-views, I like to step it up a little bit. So I will be betting, pretty decent amount on this card, pretty solid amount on this card for sure. But if y'all do want to see the bets, I believe it's in the description. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you go, would it be that one? Yeah, it's the top link in the description. It says @BertMMA. I think that's the link. If you want to see all the bets that I'm going to make for UFC 285, it's the top link down below in the description. $2.99 a month. It's okay. Big Marcel, the GOAT! Oh my God. All right, everyone, I'm sorry. Whenever Big Marcel comes into the live stream, you already know what I have to do. You already know what I'm going to have to do. Let's go to the search. Let's do it. If you are not followed to Big Marcel on Instagram, slap yourself now. Why? What is the point not following Big Marcel on Instagram? Go ahead and give this man a follow. This dude is not breaking every single fight, but he's breaking a lot of these fights right when they're released. So if you want to get the most up-to-date sources and news on fight announcements for the UFC, if you want to get these ones right here that show the fight order for every single one of the fights, make sure to go check out that freaking Instagram account, and even the Twitter as well. The Twitter's pretty solid. He posts on there from time to time, even posts live when the fights are happening. So go follow Big Marcel. If you don't, slap yourself in the face. All right, let's see. Honestly, he should be beating Brunson, maybe even a finish. Brunson's cardio is done after 1 round. True. He did not look good round 2 against Cannonier. Russia here to take over. Yes, Stack. I'm going to Duplessis, Simon, Ian Gary, and Shavkat. Interesting. We know Drichu can push for 3 rounds. Plus, he's a good grappler. Won't get ragdolled. I still think he'll get taken down. He's not... Most of his wrestling, most of Duplessis' wrestling revolves around like how much strength Duplessis has. It's not a lot of technique. It's kind of just getting in there, getting on the legs and driving. You know what I'm saying? Easy money, brother. Pretty confident in Shevchenko, Basharat, Gary, Shavkat, Nickel, and Jones gone over 1.5 rounds. On paper, this is probably the best betting card ever. 1K on that, on what? On the one that I just said, or which one? All right. Well, we read through the comments. As usual, if you are new to the channel, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications because we do these type of things every single week. Let's get into the predictions in the heavyweight division. UFC 285, Jones versus Gane. One of the greatest of all time. If you are kind of taking away the side that he uses PEDs in the past, taking away the side that he punched his wife, taking away the side that he's gone to jail so many times, hit and runs, cocaína, so many different things. You can say he's the greatest of all time. You can say he's not. Whatever the case may be, we have one of the greatest fighters, as in when he's out there fighting, he is one of the greatest of all time, taking on Ciryl Gane, the former interim heavyweight champion, only losing to Francis Ngannou, losing the 3rd, 4th, and arguably the 5th round, although it could be said that Ciryl Gane won that 5th and final round. And this is the heavyweight main event. Jones has been gone for how long now? How long has it been since Jones fought Dominic Reyes? It's been about 2 years and 1 month since that man has last fought. We got Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso in the flyweight division. Not the best contender for Valentina Shevchenko, given that she has Erin Blanchfield, given that she has Manon Fiorot. Nonetheless, it is a decent fight. In the co-main event, we got Jeff Neal, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Jeff Neal, I mean, the man's been looking very, very good recently, getting a, close decision win on Santiago Ponzinibbio. I mean, he got outstruck on the outside by Neil Magny, by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, but he really found his groove in the last fight against Vicente Luque and looked absolutely amazing. The takedown defense was on point, and the striking was very, very good on that one. If he can defend the takedown, could have a threat to Shavkat, but we shall see. That is a banger. Undefeated versus Jeff Neal. We got Gamrot and Jalen Turner, which, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, that could be a main event of a UFC fight night. I'm going to be dead serious. If Mateusz Gamrot didn't fight Beneil Dariush and he wasn't coming off that loss, this could seriously be a main event of a UFC fight, and it's just the second fight on this main card and this stacked UFC 285 pay-per-view. Got Jamie Pickett and Bo Nickel. Jamie, he's not doing too good in the UFC. 2 wins and 4 losses, only beating guys that have losing records inside of the UFC, and losing the guys that also have losing records inside of the UFC. It's a lame to the slaughter fight. In the first fight of the main card, we got a title holder in Cody Garbrandt right here, one of the best bantamweights of all time, taking on a guy with 9 losses and only 4 more wins than losses in Trevin Jones right there, randomly on the prelims there. And Cody Garbrandt been getting knocked out a lot recently, but he might make a comeback here against Trevin Jones. We got Duplessis, Derek Brunson, we got Amanda Ribas, Viviane Araújo, and so many more amazing fights that we're going to talk about just in a little bit on this UFC 285 card. So, without that being said, not to mention all these undefeated fighters on the card, all the ranked fighters on the card, top 10 title fights, everything like that. I can't get enough of how good this card is. Let's get into the first fight in the lightweight division. Loic Radzhabov and Esteban Ribovics in the lightweight division. 26, almost 27 years old in a month or two. A little bit taller is Esteban, a little bit lengthier is Esteban Ribovics, and much better striker is Esteban. Right here on Tapology, he's favored to win at 62% of the votes. A lot of them saying by knockout, which is very, very understandable given the fact that this man does not like to go to a decision. He's got 6 KO TKO wins, 5 submission wins, and 0, and I do mean 0 decision wins right there. His grappling is okay. A lot of it is on bottom, looking for triangles and arm bars and things like that. But the striking, man, 22 seconds, 7 seconds, a minute 30, and 27 seconds. The dude's power, he only needs to hit you one time, and you are going out, sir. And he's got that type of power. Now, Louis Gradzabov, he is a PFL alum, did fight on, I believe that was the first season back in 2019, did decently in 2019, but lost to Natan Schultz, I believe, in the last match of the season. He did lose to Alex Martinez, which was a robbery, came back and beat Akhmed Aliyev in 27 seconds by knockout, and then Alex Martinez. But if you look at a lot of his fights, unless he's fighting like not really the best type of a guy, usually the fights are going to a decision. If he's getting like a solid opponent, usually the fight will go all the way to a unanimous decision or a close split decision or something like that. I don't believe Esteban Ribovics has the grappling accolade to go out there and submit Louis Gradzabov on the ground or anything like that. So I do kind of expect Louis Gradzabov to either go out there and try to strike with Esteban Ribovics, maybe get Esteban a little bit tired in round number 1, come back in round number 2 or round number 3, or Louis Gradzabov just can go out there and try to wear on the gas tank of Esteban Ribovics right off the bat, going for the takedown, trying to grind on Esteban Ribovics in the clinch situations and just really wear on the gas tank of Esteban and try to get him to lose the fight in the second and third round. And that's kind of how I see this one going. Is it's either going to be Esteban Ribovics going out there and doing what he always does, landing some big flashy shot right on the chin, a kick, a knee, an elbow, whatever the case may be, and knocking out Louis Gradzabov in less than like 2 minutes. That's one outcome for this fight. But the most likely outcome here is the veteran Louis Gradzabov knows that Esteban's going out there for the power, knows that Esteban is going out there for the highlight reel finish. He's going to coast a little bit in round 1. He might lose round 1, but he's going to coast that round. Esteban's going to look for the finish, and Louis is going to start to wear on the gas tank with wrestling, with a little bit of grappling and things like that. And we're going to get a labored Esteban in round 2 and round number 3, where Louis is going to start to land those takedowns a little bit more easy, even though the sweat will start to be involved and things like that. And that's where I think Louis is going to take Esteban to deep waters. He's barely going to win round number 2, and he's going to do very, very well in round number 3, in my opinion. So that's the prediction there. I do not expect the finish from Louis Gradzabov, although I do believe the betting odds are probably saying something like, one of these guys is going to sleep, but I don't really think that's going to be the case. Minus 225 is Louis Gradzabov. I do believe that should be a little bit closer than that. That is a little bit wide for my liking. But fight goes to a decision is, quite interesting because it's plus money to go all the way when it actually started at... What in the world is this, bro? Minus 225 is fight goes to a decision. Might have been some other fight. I don't know. I don't know what just happened there, but plus 125 his fight goes to a decision, and then Gradzabov winning by a decision is at plus 180. That is the prediction. Louis Gradzabov barely winning round 2, losing round 1 just because he's kind of trying to gas out Esteban Ribovics. Then he's going to make that return and come back and dominate round number 3 and win. I got Louis Gradzabov making his debut against another guy making his debut. I got Louis by a close decision. This fight, I ain't gonna bet. You probably shouldn't. It is a very, very interesting one. Bert, much love from the UK. Thank you very much. I thought you died. I did not. What is up, Jones.G? Bert, I'm gonna land that commentary job at some sports network. You've got so much better through time. Yeah, I would love to. Anyone in sports media business or anything like that, hit me up. As soon as I turn 18, which is in about a year and a half, I will be looking for jobs in the sports media realm, and I will try to commentate. I will try to make my own show like Ariel Helwani. Just I'm not going to be interviewing a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying? But that is the dream. Now, next fight here in the bantamweight division, Farid Bashara and Damon Blackshear in the bantamweight division, a heavy favorite here in Farid Basharat, who's undefeated as a mixed martial artist, coming off a solid win on Dana White's Contender Series, getting him in the UFC. And that's not his only good win. I mean, a lot of his fights, yeah, you can see there's 0-3, there's 0-2, there's 0-1, there's 0-3, but he has 4 decent wins that he's had in his professional MMA career. Finished a 3-1 guy. Got a unanimous decision on this undefeated 4-0 solid Italian prospect right there. Beat a veteran by submission in round number 2. And then he got the win against Alan Bagoso. So we have gotten to see what he's like against a veteran fighter like Jane Elonuna Kolomala. And then we saw what he was like on the Contender Series, looking amazing in the striking. His kicking game was on point. His speed was there. His power was decent. I wouldn't say he's going to go out there and knock out Damon Blackshear easily in round number 1. He doesn't really have that type of power, but he did look very good in the striking, and I do believe he could mix in some wrestling and things like that here and there against Damon Blackshear, but I wouldn't advise it if I was like a coach of Farid Basharat, because Damon Blackshear is pretty decent on the ground. A lot of his wins, rear naked, guillotine, arm triangle, a lot of his wins are coming on the ground, whether it's by a ground and pound TKO, a submission, whatever the case may be. I would say Farid should use his wrestling and grappling to stay on the feet. I'm going to dictate where the fight goes, because Damon Blackshear, he can't really dictate where the fight goes, and because he's not that much better of a wrestler and grappler than Farid Basharat, and Farid is the better striker. So Farid can kind of dictate where he wants this fight to go. I'm going to assume right now he wants the fight to stay on the feet, where he is going to be not as tall as Damon Blackshear, not as lengthy, but a lot faster than Damon Blackshear. Way crisper technique with the kicks and jabs down the middle and things like that. Just a much better striker than Damon Blackshear. And Damon, whenever he does fight like a decent striker, he's trying to win on the ground with the grappling and wrestling like he did against Youssef Zalal. Had a few moments where he landed the takedown, looking for submissions and things like that. That's going to be how he's going to have to win against Farid Basharat. But if he's not able to land those takedowns, Farid is just far superior on the feet. And Damon Blackshear, yes, he's not been finished in quite a while. Or I think ever. I mean, I don't think he has been finished. Never mind, he's never been finished once in his professional MMA career. A lot of these fights that he's losing are to wrestlers. Tony Gravely going out there landing the takedowns. Chris Moutinho, a striker, yes, but not a very powerful striker. Pat Sabatini, wrestler, grappler. Danny Sabatello, wrestler and grappler. So not a lot of fighters have tested the chin of Damon Blackshear, which makes this prediction a little bit weirder. I know I'm going to pick Farid Basharat. I just don't know how high the likelihood is that Farid goes out there and gets a KO, gets a TKO. Really not too sure right now. Now, the betting odds aren't even out for him to win by KO, TKO, but they are out for Basharat inside the distance, and it is plus money. They're more likely saying that he's going to win the fight by a decision. I'd have to agree with that, given that Damon has never been finished as a mixed martial artist, but you never know. Farid could have been improving that technique, could land a good kick to the chin on Damon Blackshear, knock him out. You never do know, but most likely, 9 times out of 10, this fight should go to a decision, and I got Farid Basharat winning all 3 rounds. Next one in the strawweight. What? Nope, no new comments. In the strawweight division, Jessica Penne and Tabitha Hichi in the strawweight division. First thing is first, let's look at the age. Let's take a little bit of a look at the age there. 28 years, 1 week, and 4 days. And we got 40 years, 1 month, and 2 days. We got a significant age advantage for Tabitha Hichi here. Now, there's another advantage here. I mean, it could be an advantage, it could not be an advantage, depending on how you look at it. But Jessica Penne is 4 inches taller than Tabitha Hichi. She's 5 inches longer in reach than Tabitha Hichi as well. Now, that, again, like I said, that could be an advantage for Jessica Penne, as she can stay on the outside, jabbing 1-2, and use that height to kick on the outside, jabbing and doing all that type of stuff, and win a decision. But it can also be a disadvantage, as it makes Tabitha Hichi a hell of a lot more likely to just throw some big shots on the feet and just have that easy wrestling background to go out there, latch onto the leg of Jessica Penne, get a body lock, tripper, get a single leg, get Jessica Penne to the ground. Now, Jessica Penne did lose or did win or lose to Emily Ducote, and that was a full-on striking fight. She lost to Danielle Taylor and Jessica Andrade in all mainly striking fights. Lupita Godinez, she was able to stuff a lot of those takedowns. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, she was actually able to submit Karolina in that fight. So if she's able to beat, I know it was a robbery against Lupita Godinez. Lupita did win that fight in my opinion, but if she's able to defend most of the takedowns from Lupita Godinez, there's got to be a good shot that she could defend a pretty fair amount of takedowns from Tabitha Hichi. Now, I'm not saying she's going to defend all of them and just outstrike Tabitha Hichi to a unanimous decision. I'm just saying it's not going to be as easy as a lot of people are saying, which is why I'm going to go 29-28 split decision in the women's strawweight division, because I think, like that Lupita Godinez fight, there's going to be a lot of holding. If Tabitha Hichi gets the takedown, Jessica's going to be working right back up to the feet, not really allowing Tabitha Hichi to lay in a heck of a lot of ground and pound, which is what the judges are actually looking for. They're not looking for can you get the takedown. They're looking at what you can do with the takedown, what you can land with the takedown. And Jessica Penne is one of those girls that doesn't really allow a lot of ground and pound on the ground because she's getting right back up. She's looking for submissions and things like that. So with that being said, I'm still going to go Tabitha Hichi to win, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than originally expected from a lot of people. And I think Tabitha wins a split decision in the strawweight division. Betting odds, I'm not seeing them right now. There they are, minus 230. That's the best you're going to get for Tabitha Hichi, and those odds are flying up right now. Started at minus 230 on others, and some of them are at minus 275. So the odds on Tabitha are definitely getting betted on by a lot of fighters. Now, I was going to look if there was a split decision prop for Tabitha Hichi, but there isn't yet. We'll see later on in the week if they do put out that prop. But that's my prediction, Tabitha Hichi by split decision. Next one in the bantamweight division, Mana Martinez and Cameron Simon in the bantamweight division. That's a solid one. This is a solid fight. Two up-and-comers that haven't had a lot of experience inside of the UFC. Now, Mana Martinez got a very close win on Guido Canetti that honestly could have gone either way. Lost to Ronnie Lawrence, got taken down. Actually got knocked down a few times in that fight as well. Came back and got a very close one against Brandon Davis. But he didn't really look too good in the Brandon Davis fight. He didn't really look too good in the Guido Canetti fight. And it's not like he can go out there and try to mix in some takedowns when he's not looking good on the feet like he did in those two fights. So this is kind of a self-explanatory type of fight for Cameron Simon to go out there and win. He's minus 250. Which I think is kind of a steal right there. I think Cameron Simon should go out there and live up to those odds and maybe even exceed those odds, as Mana Martinez's chin has not been looking too good recently. He got knocked down and hurt a few times against Ronnie Lawrence, hurt against Guido Canetti, hurt a little bit against Brandon Davis as well. Cameron Simon, we already know, has some solid power, knocking out Josh Wayne Kim in round number 3, and Steven Kozlow in round number 3. He's just going to keep on throwing. And Mana Martinez, with the chin that he does have, which is not really the best chin in my opinion. It's not an absolutely horrible chin by any means, but it's not a good one. And I know he's got the height, I know he's got the reach, but Cameron usually is the smaller fighter, going in there trying to find his range, get inside and land something good, possibly knock out his opponent. And here, I've seen a lot of wins from Cameron are submission wins, so it kind of makes me wonder if maybe Cameron could hurt him on the feet and then submit him on the ground. But I think like he did in the Steven Kozlow fight, where he just kept on throwing. I think if he hurts Mana, he's not going to go for the submission because he saw what he did in the Steven Kozlow fight. Do not stop once they are hurt and keep on throwing. You're going to get them out of there like he did in round number 3 of that one. So that's what I'm going to go again here. I'm not going to go another third round knockout, but I'm going to go a little bit earlier this time because there's just statistically, what are the gosh dang chances Cameron gets another third round knockout? I don't think very likely, if I'm going to be honest. I do not think that likely that that's going to happen. So Cameron Simon inside the distance at plus 125. That is the prediction. KO, TKO in round number 2. Next one in the welterweight division. Ian Gary and Kenan Song in the welterweight division. If you want me to say Ian Machado Gary, I mean, I can if you want to, but Kenan Song, you already know what he's here for. You know exactly what the man is here for. He's got a lot of knockout wins in his record, 9 KO wins, but we got to look at how he's losing most of his fights. 3 losses by KO, TKO. Never been submitted. He's got a pretty decent ground game. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, with a scissor choke, a guillotine choke submission win, a lot of rear nakeds earlier on in his career. But we already know Israel Adesanya and this guy somehow fought earlier on in Israel Adesanya's career. He got knocked out by Israel Adesanya. He got knocked out by Brad Riddell. Probably was going to get knocked out by Alex Morono. Then he got knocked out by Max Griffin later on. And the guys he's beating, they're okay. Bobby Nash, not in the UFC. Hector Aldana, not in the UFC. Derek Kranz, not in the UFC. Callum Potter, not in the UFC. The guys that the man is beating they're just not good. They're just not good. I'm going to be dead honest with you. And Ian Machado Gary, after Max Griffin, that's a step up. You just got knocked out in 2 minutes and 20 seconds by Max Griffin. And I know Max Griffin is solid. Because he arguably beat Neil Magny. He beat Kenan Song, Carlos Condit, Tim Means, Ramiz Abrahima. He's been doing very good in the UFC. But Ian Machado Gary is just a horrible, horrible matchup for Kenan Song. Let's be honest here. Let's just be very, very honest. Ian Machado Gary is going to go out there, look very, very solid in round number 1, outstriking Kenan Song in range, and I think round 2 he's going to catch him with that same shot that he was able to catch Jordan Williams with. As Kenan Song comes in, he's going to catch him with that counter right to the chin. He's going to face plant to the canvas. I got Ian Machado Gary with the TKO in round number 2. The betting odds on this fight have Ian Gary as a 6.5 to 1 favorite. Ian Gary inside the distance isn't even out yet. I don't know why, but Gary wins in round 2 isn't even out yet either. So we have no prop odds on this fight. But minus 650, I got Ian Gary by second round TKO. Next fight. Yo, what's up, Bert? Where have you been? You're killing your algorithm by not posting. I was wrestling, my guy. I know. My algorithm got absolutely destroyed. Next one in the middleweight division, Julian Marquez and Marc-Andre Barrio. In the middleweight division, 9-3 and 14-6, both coming off a loss by finish. Gregory Rodriguez knocking out Marquez, and then Anthony Hernandez submitting Andre Barrio. Now, this is an interesting one in my opinion, because Julian Marquez is going to go out there and he's just going to freaking land bombs on Marc-Andre Barrio. Marc-Andre can go all day. Julian Marquez can go all freaking day, until Gregory was able to catch him a few times. But I don't actually expect this one to go the full 3 rounds. I do expect either of these men to go out there and get the KO, TKO in this fight. I don't think it's going to be easy, though. Whoever wins this fight is not going to be an easy fight. There will be a lot of CTE, a lot of brain damage after this fight with Marquez and Marc-Andre Barrio. Because if Marc-Andre Barrio is about to knock out Julian Marquez, Julian's going to keep on running and throwing while he's running. He might even rock Marc-Andre Barrio. Marc's going to rock Julian. He's going to rock Marc. It's going to be one of those fights where there's not a lot of technique behind it once they really start going. And it's going to be an all-out war, in my opinion. And in an all-out war, who are you going to pick? Marc-Andre Barrio, who got slapped by Shidi and Njokuani in like 30 seconds, maybe even less than that. It was a very fast knockout. Or are you going to go for the Cuban Missile Crisis? Julian Marquez. I'm going to go Julian Marquez. I don't think this is going to be an easy fight by any means, because Marc has good cardio. If he can survive the early onslaught of Julian Marquez, could win round 2, could win round 3, and win the decision. Very, very possible. But I'm going to go Julian Marquez to win round number 1. They're going to be gassed out going into round number 2. Round number 2, Julian is going to just keep on at it. And he's going to catch the chin of Marc-Andre Barrio and get the TKO. Betting odds, this is my underdog, plus 124, plus 126. He started as the favorite, which is interesting. So we got our first underdog here, Julian Marquez by TKO in round number 2. Next fight. In the, let me press it please, in the flyweight division, Viviane Araujo and Amanda Ribas in the flyweight division. Amanda Ribas a little bit smaller, a little bit less lengthy, but a little bit younger than Viviane Araujo. Her grappling and her wrestling is very, very solid. Able to go out there, outstrike Verna Jandiroba, not outstrike Marina Rodriguez, and not outstrike Caitlin Chukagian, but she did mix in some good wrestling and grappling, and a lot of people do think she won that fight. Also beat Mackenzie Dern earlier on in her career. We got Viviane Araujo going on losing to Jessica Ai, which is not a good look. Beat Montana De La Rosa, Andrea Lee, and Roxanne Modafferi, but also lost to Grasso and Chukagian. It's a weird one. This is a very, very weird one because I do not think that Amanda Ribas can go out there and dominate Viviane Araujo on the ground. I don't think Viviane Araujo can dominate Amanda Ribas on the ground either. And on the feet. The feet is very, very even because neither girl, Amanda Ribas or Viviane Araujo, is really known for their striking. So we got two girls that usually like to take the fight to the ground, use their wrestling, the grappling, and win the fight that way. Sometimes they want to strike, sometimes they want to stand and bang. But in like a fight like this, between Amanda Ribas and Viviane Araujo, I expect this to be a sloppy one. I expect this to probably be one of the worst fights on the card for the reason that neither girl's a good striker. I'm just going to say it right now. Neither girl is that good of a striker, and we're going to get 3 rounds of it. And it's just not going to really be too pretty. Now, who do I think is the better striker? I'm going to slightly lean towards Amanda Ribas a little bit, and she might mix in a takedown or two as well. It's not going to really do anything with the takedown, not going to land a submission, ground a pound, but sometimes the judges be like, oh, takedown, oh, they win the round then. So you never know. It's a weird fight in my opinion. The last fight on this card I wanted to predict, given that it's going to come down to the striking in women's MMA, it's those little moments. It's those little moments where Viviane lands a big shot that wobbles the chin of Amanda Ribas, like in the Marina Rodriguez fight, or Amanda Ribas lands a takedown at the end of the round. It's going to come down to those little moments between Viviane Araujo and Amanda Ribas. Amanda might be a slightly better striker, but if Viviane Araujo is able to have those moments, land a big shot here, maybe mix in a takedown here, she could definitely steal this fight on the judges' scorecards. Now, of course, judges' scorecards will be in place for this fight. This is not one of those that's going to go the full 3 rounds or anything like, that's not going to go the full 3 rounds. This will be a 3-round fight. I got Amanda Ribas, 29-28, 28-29, and 29-28 to win by split decision. Alrighty. What do toy guys think? Valentina versus Grasso over 2.5 rounds. I'd rather do 1.5. There's not a lot more value in the over 2.5, in my opinion. I think Valentina has a lot of respect for Brando Moreno and Alexa Grasso. She will try to give a show, probably all the way to a decision. Probably, but it's a little bit more risky because that's the point where Valentina starts to kind of figure out her opponent a little bit after round number 1, and that's where she can land something big. Do I think she will? No, I expect a decision, but we shall see, we shall see. Bert, tune in Tuesday for me and Artem MMA's collab stream. I will indeed. Remind me tomorrow. All right, next one in the middleweight division, Derek Brunson and Dricou du Plessis. I know. Did I say it wrong? I don't know. Correct me down below. This is going to be a banger. In the middleweight division, du Plessis undefeated in the UFC, knocking out Marcus Perez, knocking out Trevin Giles. I predicted both of those. I also predicted him to win by a decision against Brad Tavares. I had him by decision against Darren Till. Sadly got that prediction wrong. Still had the right fighter though, but I predicted Dricou du Plessis to win in every single one of his fights. The same can be said. The same as almost can be said. I'm pretty good at predicting both of these guys. I predicted Derek Brunson to beat Edmund Shabazian as a huge underdog. Predicted him against Kevin Holland. Predicted him against Darren Till. And I predicted Jerry Cannonier to win. So I think I'm undefeated in predicting both du Plessis and Derek Brunson. I think I'm going to be undefeated still, as I'm going to go Dricus du Plessis to win. He is a full 10 years younger. Same height, similar reach, it don't matter. Derek Brunson's gas tank is not there anymore. I mean, it used to be that he might be able to go a full 3 rounds, maybe could go a full 5 rounds here and there, but the man's gas tank has kind of fallen off a cliff recently. I don't know why, for whatever reason. His cardio is not that good anymore, but he might do good in round number 1 because du Plessis' wrestling is kind of all strength in my opinion. So there's a possibility that Derek could do good in round number 1. But like we saw in the Jerry Cannonier fight, he did good. He did very good in round number 1 against Jerry Cannonier. What the heck did he do in round number 2? A whole lot of nothing. The man looked slow. He looked sloppy. He looked gassed in round number 2. And now maybe he fixed that in his training camp. Maybe that's what he's going over. Just completely going cardio up until this game plan. In this fight with Dricus du Plessis, his game plan just could be cardio. He could have just been training cardio up until this fight with Dricus du Plessis. I don't know. But from experience, I do not think that Derek Brunson is going to do good once it does hit those later rounds. On the chin that we know Derek Brunson has and the power that we know Dricus du Plessis has, it's not going to look pretty. I'm expecting a nice wobble Derek Brunson in the middle to end of round number 2 or the beginning of round number 3. And I think du Plessis is going to land that wobbling shot and then land one more that's really going to fold Derek Brunson. So round 2, round 3, TKO for Dricus du Plessis. After losing, I actually do believe Derek Brunson wins round number 1. It's just, the heck's he going to do after that? Dricus du Plessis by TKO. Cody Garbrandt and Trevin Jones in the bantamweight division. Similar height with the reach. Oh my gosh, that is going completely towards Trevin Jones. A lot of people saying KO, TKO either way. Trevin Jones lost a decision to Hayuni Barcelos, lost a decision to Javid Bashara, and then he got submitted by Saidiyokub Kakramanov. Now, it's going to be very, very interesting because I don't really remember the last time Trevin Jones has gone out there and got knocked out. I don't think he's ever been knocked out as a professional MMA fighter. So if Cody Garbrandt is going to win, I'm going to actually say probably going to be a decision win against Trevin Jones, if we're being honest. Because he's not going out there and submitting Trevin Jones. The only guy able to do that was Saidiyokub Kakramanov. And I don't think he's on the level of a Saidiyokub Kakramanov. Now, can Trevin Jones knock out Cody Garbrandt? Of course. Cody's chin has been failing him recently, getting knocked out by Kai Kara, knocked out by Pedro Munoz, CJ Dillashaw. He did get the win against Rafael Sunsao, but other than that, man has not been looking really too good. Now, somehow, I don't really know how, Cody is younger than Trevin Jones here, which is still baffling in my opinion. I do believe Trevin Jones is the slightly less technical striker than Cody Garbrandt here, but he has a little bit more power. Than Cody Garbrandt in this fight. Now, Cody Garbrandt, I think, is going to go out there and win. It's not going to be very convincing, as he's probably almost going to get knocked out in one of these rounds, but I think he wins 2 out of the 3 and gets that decision win, which nobody is really thinking. Plus 160 for the fight to go over 2.5 rounds. I think round one, I'm actually going to give to Cody Garbrandt. I think Cody's going to come out there round 1 a little bit passive because he's going to be afraid of getting clipped by Trevin Jones and knocked out in round number 1. So I think he plays a little bit passive early on in the fight and wins round 1. I think Trevin Jones is going to go out there, clip Cody Garbrandt a little bit in round 2, hurt him, wobble him, almost get the finish, not be able to win round number 2. Gonna come down to round number 3 where Cody Garbrandt is gonna go out there and really start to mix in his volume. He's gonna be a lot better in the later rounds because he's been 5 rounds. He's got good cardio. Trevin Jones never really looks good in the 3rd round, so I think Cody wins round 1 and round number 3. Almost gets knocked out in round 2, and we got a Cody comeback here and a decision win, which I'm assuming is going to be heavy plus money on a Cody Garbrandt by decision, but we shall see. I got Cody by 29-28 decision. Next fight in the middleweight division, Bo Nickel versus Jamie Pickett. In the middleweight division, Bo Nickel, TKO, submission, DQ. forfeit. I don't know. Whatever ways there are to finish an MMA fight, Bo Nickal will get one of those. That's what I'm going to say. Bo Nickal inside the distance, finish, KO, TKO. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. It's whatever Bo wants, Bo's going to get. If Bo wants a TKO on this fight against Jamie Pickett, he can definitely get it. Dennis Chilinen was able to go out there and just easily knock out Jamie Pickett. Jordan Wright was able to go out there and just easily knock out Jamie Pickett. Bo Nickal should go out there and, easily knock out Jamie Pickett if he wants to. If he wants the knockout, he'll get the knockout. Like I said, if he wants a submission, he'll get the submission. Kyle Dawkins was able to take him down. Kyle Dawkins is nowhere near the wrestler or grappler of a Bo Nickal. So if he wants to go out there, take him down and submit him like he did on the Contender Series against Zach Borrego and Donovan Beard, he can. He can totally do that. Yeah, if he wants to, he totally can do that. Whatever Bo wants, Bo gets. All right. A lot of them are saying submission. A few of them are saying a KO. I'm going to go KO. I'm going to go KO for Bo Nickal. He's a better striker. I'm going to be down on it. He's the better striker here. The man has crazy power in that left hand, like we saw in the Donovan Beard fight. But he's got the crazy power, and he's got the crazy awesome submission game as well. Though very, very good wrestling. It's very clear. Nickal inside the distance it's minus 385. It's very, very, very clear that Bo Nickal is going to go out there and get the win. Inside the distance, I'm hoping there's a knockout prop because I believe a lot of the money is going to go in on a submission because he thinks he's just a wrestler and a grappler. Man's got power as well, and I think he wants a highlight for the pay-per-view in a KO. So I'm going to go Bo Nickal getting whatever he wants, and most likely probably want the knockout. I'm going to go Bo Nickal TKO round numero uno. All right, after that, we got the lightweight division. Mateusz Gamrot and Jalen Turner. In the lightweight division, Jalen Turner, ladies and gentlemen, the underdog. And he's not even the one coming in on short notice. Gamrot is the one coming in on short notice. We originally had Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. I'm going to be dead serious here. Jalen Turner probably would have mopped the floor with Dan Hooker. He's taller, he's lengthier than Dan Hooker, he's got more power than Dan Hooker, way better grappling, way better jiu-jitsu. Probably would have smashed Dan Hooker had they fought, but Hooker broke his hand. Now we have Mateusz Gamrot, who has only ever lost to Guram Kutateladze, as well as Beneil Dariush by decision on both of them. That's where this gets a little interesting. Because yeah, he beat Diego Ferreira by finish, Jeremy Stevens, Scott Holtzman by finish, and then Arman Tsarukyan by decision. I don't know if Jalen Turner is going to be able to get that finish here. He's usually able to. He's on a 5 fight finish streak with a second round TKO on Josh Kulibau. A second round submission on Brock Weaver. First round submission on Yoros Medic. Second round knockout on Jamie Mullarkey. And then a first round mounted guillotine on Brad Riddell. Matt Frevola was able to go out there, take him down, and control him on the ground. So it's interesting. It is very interesting. When you got a guy that has never been freaking finished, you got a guy like him that has not been finished as a mixed martial artist in Mateusz Gamrot, and you got a crazy finisher like Jalen Turner. That makes for a very interesting fight. Now, do I think there will be a finish? No, I do not. Do I think Jalen Turner is going to hurt Gamrot, go for some submissions that might be close? Yeah, he'll get close to a finish and win round one. Might gas out towards the end of the fight, and Gamrot's going to start to land those takedowns a little bit more easy, and Gamrot's probably going to win round number 3. Now, this fight, going to come down to round number 2. A lot of people, let's go to these Tapology predictions. A lot of people right here are saying Turner, if he's going to win the fight, is going to be a TKO, and if Gamrot's going to win, it's going to be a decision win. I think it's going to be a decision win either way. I do not see Turner knocking out Mateusz Gamrot in this fight. I don't see that being something that happens. Now, Turner by decision, which is going to be my prediction. Believe it or not, I'm actually going with the plus 640. Jalen Turner by decision. The reason being, round 1, Jalen Turner is probably going to rock Gamrot on the feet. He's going to hurt him a little bit. All right. Gamrot, round number 2. Gamrot's probably going to land a few takedowns or so. Jalen Turner's going to be close on some submissions. Jalen Turner's probably going to land some big shots as well. That's going to be the deciding round. Some people might actually say this could be like a split decision. Really, really close fight. Maybe it could end in another robbery, as some people that Gamrot won round 2. Some people that Jalen Turner won round 2. It's going to be one of those fights, in my opinion, where it's going to be very, very controversial in who you thought won and who's the rightful winner of the fight. But I think Jalen's going to land more damage, be closer to a finish, attempt submissions, attempt finishes in both round 1 and round number 2. The judges will see that, give them both of those rounds. Round 3, I think Jalen's going to fade a little bit because the man has not been in a round 3 in a very, very long time. And I think Gamrot's going to win round number 3. I'm gonna go huge plus money. Plus 630. 630 for Jalen Turner by decision. I know that is a quite crazy and outlandish prediction. That is the prediction. He's an underdog, and I got the underdog winning in a way that most likely he should not be winning in, but plus 125. Very interesting. I think the fight goes all the way. Jalen Turner by decision. I don't know what I just did. All right, after that one, we go on to the welterweight division. Interesting fight here. Jeff Neal and Shavkat Rakhmonov in the welterweight division. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to go Shavkat. To go out there and submit him. Martin, I know it was what, like 7, 8, 10 years ago that Martin Sano was able to go out there and submit the man, the myth, the legend in Jeff Neal. I know. But I think we see another rear naked choke submission loss for Jeff Neal. Jeff has that power, man. First round knockout. Second round knockout. Knocked out Mike Perry in round 1. Nico Price in round 2. Beat Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad. And knocked out Vicente Luque. So I'm not saying this is going to be an easy Shavkat. Takes him down, submits him easily in round number 1. It's not going to be the case. Shavkat's chin is always out there a little bit, so he could get clipped. This is one of the fights where if you parlay Shavkat, you are risking a lot. If you're going to parlay Shavkat Rakhmonov. That is a risky bet. But Shavkat is just so far superior in his combat sambo, his wrestling, and his grappling that even though Jeff Neal looked really good with his takedown defense against Vicente Luque, Shavkat's way bigger than Vicente Luque. He's way bigger than Jeff Neal. He's younger than Jeff Neal as well, not to mention the kicking game at range. Even if Jeff Neal is able to maybe land some good shots with his hands, he still has to worry about the threat of the feet from Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's got really good spin kicks to the body, head kicks, and things like that. Like, Jeff Neal also has a good kicking game, but he's mainly a boxer now inside of the UFC. Shavkat is taller, he's lengthier, he's the better kicker in my opinion, and he's got that better wrestling. I believe they're going to kick for a little bit, they're going to strike for about 2 to 3 minutes, then Shavkat's going to be like, I'm going to go for the takedown now. I want the finish. And as soon as he gets that finish, he's going to look to put the hooks in like he did against Michel Prazeres. And I predict another rear naked choke. I don't think it's going to be a round number 1. I'll go round number 2. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Rear naked choke. Submission. Next one in. Get to the main events already. I'm almost there, my guy. I'm almost there. Co-main event in the flyweight division. Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso in the flyweight division. Alexa Grasso is going to lose the fight. She does not even deserve this title fight, if we're being honest with you. A Ji-Young Kim decision win after losing to Carla Esparza. She beat Macy Barber. All right. You beat Joanne Calderwood. All right. You beat Viviane Araújo. These girls are like the best ranked girls, like number 8 or number 9 in Viviane Araújo. Alexa Grasso should not be getting this title shot against Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina is the better grappler. She's better wrestling. She's got a better kicking game. You already know what's going to happen. Valentina staying at range, outstriking Alexa Grasso for round 1, round 2, round 3, maybe mixing in some takedowns in round 3, some takedowns in round 4, and then outstriking Alexa Grasso in round number 5. And we got you. Maybe Alexa Grasso wins one round, but most likely a 50-45, 49-46, and 49-46 Unanimous decision for Valentina. We already know. This is the most undeserving title contender right now. Erin Blanchfield is there. Mana Fiora is there. There's so many other girls. Even a girl that's coming down. Tatiana Suarez is more deserving than Alexa Grasso, because guess what? She beat Alexa Grasso. This is an easy one in my opinion. Valentina by decision. Next one in the heavyweight division, Jon Bones Jones versus Ciryl Gane in the heavyweight division for the UFC vacant heavyweight championship. Jon Jones, 3 years older than Ciryl Gane, is the favorite at -160, same height, but a little bit of a reach advantage there, which is not usual for Ciryl Gane, but a little reach advantage for Jon Jones at 84.5 inches. The striking, Ciryl is going to be faster. He's going to be more elusive. The power is probably going to be pretty even. Neither guy has super deadly power or anything like that, but the speed advantage obviously is going to be going towards Ciryl Gane. I do believe Ciryl Gane is going to go out there and do very good early on in round number 1, and I think he will win round number 1. Just stand at range, trying to just run away from Jon Jones and not let Jon Jones get a hold of him. That's going to be the game plan in round 1 for Ciryl Gane. Run, move, counter, move, jab, leg kick. He's just going to be running from Jon Jones for pretty much the entire round number 1, and, he's probably going to win round number 1. All right, 1-0 Ciryl Gane. Going into round number 2. His coaches, Jon Jones has some solid coaches. Jon Jones is going to get some knowledge at the end of round number 1. They're going to tell him, all right, this is what we saw with Ciryl Gane. This is why he was getting away from you. This is how you're going to be able to take him down. Now he's moving here. You can trap him against the fence here. You get a single leg and a double leg, whatever the case may be. His coaches are going to give him a good game plan to go out there and actually successfully complete a takedown on Ciryl Gane in round number 2. Jon Jones is actually going to get a takedown in round number 2. And that's where it's going to be the beginning of the end for Ciryl Gane, in my opinion. I think after that first takedown from Jon Jones, Ciryl Gane will get up from that one. He'll get up for the first one. Then there'll be a second one in the middle to end of round number 2, which he will not get up from till the end of the round. Be a pretty 50-50 round, could go either way. Ciryl landed some good strikes early on in round number 1. Jon Jones had the 2 takedowns, a little bit of ground and pound, and elbow on top as well. Jon Bones Jones. And that's going to be one of the deciding rounds. Some people are going to be like, Ciryl won it. Some people are going to say Jones won it. That's going to be a close round. We'll get back to it if it matters. Round 3, Jones is going to kind of really take control of round 3. That's where he's going to take him down in less than a minute, control Ciryl Gane for literally the entire round. Ciryl Gane is going to, in round number 4, he's going to just start running again, like he did in round number 1, trying to stay at range against Jon Jones, trying to stay up, because he knew last round was horrible. I do not want to be on the ground again like I just was. Going to do pretty decent in round number 4, but Jones is going to land the takedown eventually. Maybe 2 minutes into the round, control it, land ground and pound, and win the round. And then it might come down to the 5th, it might not, depending on who wins that second round, because I do peg the second round to be a pretty close round, because I don't think Jon Jones is immediately going to go out there and just dominate him in round number 2, because there still is that explosive factor of Ciryl Gane to get up from the takedown and things like that, which won't be there in round 3, 4, and 5, but it might come down to round 5, it might not. I mean, it could already be Jones 3-1, or it could be Jones at 2-2 in the fight. Either way, I think Jones wins round number 5. I still think he wins that round as well, because that's when Ciryl Gane's going to be the most tired, and he's really going to start running and trying to stay at range. He might go for another heel hook, another flashy submission to try to get the fight back in his favor. Probably going to fail that, and I think Jones wins round 5 as well. So I got Jones winning round number 3, round number 4, round number 5, losing round number 1 to Ciryl Gane. He's just going to stay at range and outstrike him. And then round number 2 is going to be the closest round. So maybe the scorecards will probably read 49-46, 48-47, and 48-47, or 49-46, 49-46, and 48-47. Either way, it doesn't really matter. A win is a win, and I think Jon Jones wins 3 or 4 rounds against Ciryl Gane. 3, 4, and 5, and then possibly round number 2 as well. Ciryl Gane's going to win any of these rounds, probably going to be round number 1, but should be an interesting one. I got Jon Bones Jones coming back to beat Cyril Gane and challenge Stipe Miocic, who will be in attendance at UFC 285, and we will get a GOAT versus GOAT. Best light heavyweight versus best heavyweight for the heavyweight belts. And it's going to be awesome. Jon Jones by unanimous decision. That is the full card prediction. UFC 285. Jones versus Gane. I got Jon Jones winning. His betting odds right now, I believe he's minus 160 still. Minus 155 for Jon Jones. I got Shevchenko, and she's minus 600. I got Shavkat. He is minus 600. I got minus 500 for Shavkat. I got Jalen Turner winning as my underdog of the main card. He is at plus 180. That is absolutely insane. I got Bo Nickel at minus 1,500. Cody Garbrandt is a slight favorite. Duplessis as a 2.5 to 1 favorite. Amanda Hebas as a slight favorite. Julia Marquez as a slight underdog. My underdog of the prelims. Ian Machado Gary as a 6 to 1 favorite. Cameron Simon as a 2.5 to 1 favorite. Tabatahichi as a 2 to 1 favorite. Farid Basharat, I believe a 4 to 1 or 5 to 1 favorite, and Loic Radzhabov, a 2 to 1 favorite. Those are the predictions. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And as usual, if you would like to see all the bets that we're going to be making for UFC 285, because we will be making a lot of bets for UFC 285 in the next coming days, make sure to go on to my YouTube channel, any one of the videos, it could be this video that you guys are watching right now, and click the top link down below in the description for all, and I'm talking prop bets, I'm talking money line bets, my parlays, my underdog bets, and everything there is to do with betting for UFC 285 and any other fight card there is in this month. Only for $2.99. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Alrighty then. Do you see Jan beating Merab? Yeah. I'm gonna go Piotr Jan to win a decision. I'll go Piotr Jan for the W. Piotr Jan by decision. All right, I was going to do the confident picks, but I'm going to do the